going live.
Woohoo!
I'm going live. Hopefully we're going live. I see something. Let's see here. Started stream less than a minute ago. Woo woo! It's working. It's working.
We're live?
We are live.
All right.
No doing crazy stuff now. We're live.
Okay.
All right, got that nice and shrunk down now. We got the JR Paramotor, which, by the way, oh, someone's at my front door, apparently. Can y'all hear that?
Yes.
I'm just wondering. That should happen a couple more times unless my daughter decides to stay inside. Evo! Nick, what's going down? Greg? We are just getting started. Man, Michael, what's going down? John? My daughter being here in a minute. So I guess while we were gone, my dog found somebody's pet rabbit running around and injured its back leg or legs. I'm not really sure. But I was standing out there talking to my neighbor this morning, and a white rabbit come running in her backyard. She's like, "Oh yeah, they just run around." I'm like, did we not hear about birds of prey that eat rabbits, especially dumb ones that have been left in the and not in the wild? Scotty's Backyard Barbecue, hello. Sean, Bill H, what's going on, guys? So real quick, tonight, I want to give out a couple shout outs to a couple people. We're going to talk. I know we talked about it last night. We're going to talk about it again tonight on some things that we didn't cover last night about the fly-in at Bad Apples, which was amazing. And I couldn't believe how much fun we had. What'd you do? What'd you find out about the rabbit?
So, I called the rescue group. The girl is in over her head right now, but she contacted another one of her partners, and he's going to come pick up the bunny Thursday after 4.
Okay, are you gonna be here?
Yes.
Okay.
He knows all about special needs bunnies, so.
Does he know about special needs daughters?
No.
Oh, okay. Just checking.
Approved.
All right, love you.
Love you, buddy. Come on, dogs.
Yeah, out, mutts.
You're such a dork, Shane.
So is the rabbit dead?
No, it's alive.
Missing a leg?
No, I think Jack actually just kind of stepped on it or whatever on the back end. I don't think she said there was no drool or anything like that on the rabbit. I just think I don't know. I mean, I thought she just found like a stray, like a wild rabbit, but it's an actual like rabbit that you get from the pet store or whatever. So, Jason Campbell, how's it going, brother? I am still working on my video for Bad Apples. I thought I was done with it tonight, added a few things, screwed everything up, and I got to correct a bunch of stuff. So that was awesome. And then
Hey,
I'm trying
Shane.
to, what?
Sorry, Mary is in here too.
I see her. I'm waiting for a few more people to come in here because, like I said, there's going to be some shout outs given. There's going to be a bunch of thank yous and yes, Jason, I have. He asked me if I ever pat a rabbit between his ears. Oh man. Well, Eric, you liking that new pellet smoker or what?
I do. That thing is awesome. I am so glad I waited to see how yours worked. Yeah, so everybody's in the chat. We were talking about it a little earlier. I got a pellet smoker, just a step smaller than Shane's, and it is pretty darn slick. I really do like. I like the fact that so you can throw your food in there and just walk away and leave it. That I like. I didn't. I checked it all the time. But yeah, no, it's going to be a learning experience. But yeah, it is super nice. And
The number one rule in cooking or when you're smoking, if you're looking, you're not cooking.
right.
Just remember that.
So yeah, we had chicken quarters tonight and they were good. They weren't as good as yours. But that's just going to be a learning curve.
Yeah, trial and error. Trust me, I didn't. My first couple chicken quarters didn't come out. I mean,
Yeah.
there's plenty of videos out there. They'll teach you. Now, with your smoker, does it go from 250 to 300?
No, it goes down to one.
No, on it should go to about, what is it? The numbers go from like 200, 225, 250, and then it goes to 300. There's no 275 on mine.
I'd have to look. I don't recall. I would
Craig Couch said that he's going to buy a Pit Boss pellet smoker and gas combo. I don't honestly think you need it. The gas part of it. I mean, it sears, it braises, bakes. I thought Jade was bringing some cake mix. I was going to try to cook it in the for your birthday. Try to cook in that pellet smoker because it's supposed to bake.
Yeah. No, we got the cupcakes instead.
I did, but he told me to go get cupcakes.
Well, that's
I
no fault.
said, go get Cupcake Krista.
Yeah. Which, by the way, she was on film and in these videos more than I've ever seen her in anything online. Will Fly, hello. Will Fly, you jumping in tonight or what? You're part of the Bad Apples flying group. You can add to some commentaries.
With his Dairy Queen ice cream in his hand.
Yeah, I was wondering how much ice cream he ate while he was there.
I have no idea, but I know that his trip probably lasted an hour longer than it should have from all of his stops.
What he stopped for?
The Dairy Queen ice cream. He kept sending us pictures of his cups.
Hey, Craig, you can turn that smoker to sear and cook 2 hamburgers in no time. You don't need to. Well, you can do what you want. I literally, when I bought this pellet smoker and seeing what it could do, I gave my gas grill to my neighbor. I was like, I'll never need this. I'll be anything I need to do, I can do on this Pit Boss. So
yeah, those hamburgers that you made were phenomenal.
Oh yeah, well, I made
really
a bunch of those. But yeah, she JR Paramotor says I have an awesome wife. Did I bring a different wife? What? I'm just kidding. No, yeah, she's freaking she's the cat's meow. She's not usually that open. Usually she's kind of shy, but I guess because she knows that we've talked all the time, what have you, and she just kind of flowed right into everything. Craig, I did hamburgers, and when I say I did hamburgers, somebody walked by and said, "Are those hamburgers or is that meatloaf?" Because they were huge hamburgers. But if you just did a regular size hamburger, you can do them just as quick on that as you can on the on a gas grill. There's a plate that slides, and that's how you get the sear part of it. It's on the heat deflector, and you can slide that open so the flame is directly under it. If you only had 2 hamburgers, boom, you'll be cooking in no time. And Craig, the model that I got is the Pit Boss Austin XL. It's 1,008 square inches of cooking surface, and I think I paid $447 at Walmart for it. It was the cheapest one that I could find. Well, not the cheapest price for that model I could find. So if you go on YouTube later after the show, not during now, because you'll see, you type in pellet smokers under $500, and pound for pound, square inch for dollar, whatever you want to call it, everybody goes with the Pit Boss at the end of it. The only real negative is what I was saying earlier. The temperature goes from 250 to 300. There's no 275. Most your barbecue cooks are 275, but as I've learned, you can. So there's a P setting, which is a pause, and it pauses the auger, say 18 seconds, 28 seconds. It goes all the way up to like 120 seconds or something. What it does is, depending on what your P setting is, 0 means no smoke, and 7 is the heaviest setting for smoke, and that will determine how fast that auger turns. So if you really want a heavy smoke, you put on 7, and then you go from there. If you're looking to just do a quick, like I was going to do a cake in there for Eric's birthday, I put it on 0 so that no real smoke comes out of it, and then you just get the heat. And but we didn't get a chance to do that, so I don't know how well cake comes out in that. But I can tell you that chicken quarters, hamburgers, hot dogs, brats, pork butt, hams, what else? Is there something else, Jade? Am I missing? All came out phenomenal, but like hot dogs, I cooked hot dogs in no time.
Yeah, the hot dogs, the hamburger. I mean, I don't think there was one meal that was not good.
Yeah, Craig.
I liked-
Hold on real quick, Craig. A bag of pellets, which you can get a 30-pound bag of pellets for $16 at Walmart, and it lasts. I want to say it burns a pound, depending on your setting. I believe it's a pound every 2 hours, something like that. I can't. I know I burned. What was it? I burned 50 pounds of pellets the whole weekend, or the whole week, cooking for everyone. And those were long cooks. That wasn't just making hamburgers. Pork chops. I knew there was something else. I made pork chops. So, like the pork chops, all that, I could just turn the heat up on that and then quickly cook everything and be done. Hot dogs, same way. Brats, same exact way. I know if I put that smoker on 250 and the P setting at 5 or 6, I can get the temperature to be at 275. So there is ways around adjusting the temperature. And on my grill or my smoker, the right side is the hottest. When you're cooking like chicken, like I cooked the chicken quarters, I had the whole entire grill covered, but I noticed that the right side was cooking way hotter than the left side. Left side was, it wasn't, I shouldn't say it's not cooking, it just didn't cook nearly as nice as the right side did. So I just had to do some flipping and flopping. No big deal. Mark Elroy, you back at work, sir? Because I've done 2 days of work now, which, by the way, every 5 weeks, I think it's 5 weeks or 6 weeks, I have to work an hour and a half, 2 hours, Monday through Friday. So I work 9.5, 10 hours extra. I'm sorry, a day extra, so that it's my time beyond after hours. Right after this long trip, I was like, they walked in, they're like, "Hey, it's your week." I'm like, oh, I don't want it to be my week. I didn't even want to come in here and have to work late Wednesday. So, JR Paramotors, are you still in here? If so, did you want to come on tonight and talk? Dave Perry, same thing with you. If you want to come on and talk about bad apples, your experience, we can.
Kent,
The
Amy.
Mark, the smokestack is on the right side of the smoker, and the heat source is directly in the middle. Kent Stamey, what's going on, sir? Let me see if I can add in. Hold on here. Add in the. Oh, what am I doing? Anybody know what I'm doing here?
No.
I'll add the
Trying
link
to hook
in
up my
here.
earpods.
I think I can do it this way. I still haven't quite figured everything out, but yeah. What am I? Uh-oh, what's going on? Oh, snap. I love the background, sir.
Right on, man. What's going on?
You see,
Always food with you.
I don't know. The first thing about cooking is the problem. I mean, nothing.
You sure know the first thing about eating, though.
I know how to eat. Yeah, know how to eat. Just don't know how to cook.
all right, let me see if this will work.
You signed up for 2 cheeseburgers, man. You only ate one. I got sent home with a bag full of cheeseburgers.
You see the size of the cheeseburger,
I
though?
know.
I mean, I'm thinking McDonald's, Burger King type thickness. That was the biggest burger I've ever had.
Most meat you've had in your mouth.
No, well, when somebody said, are we having hamburgers or meatloaf? I started laughing. I was like, well, I really wanted to make, I really did want to smoke a couple of meatloafs in there, but I didn't. I think it was, because Waller was making the ham, so I didn't want to exclude that, which, by the way, damn good hams, if you ask me. Poor guy makes 2 hams and doesn't even try it, and he leaves.
He didn't get any?
No, he brought him over and said, here you go, and left.
Dang, man. That was some good ham. The second day, remember I asked you about the ham. I said, this is ham, but it's different than the pork butt. Is that what it was?
Correct.
That's also a ham, right?
No. Actually, a pork butt comes from the front half of the cow. Why they call it butt, I don't know. But the ham is the back where the femur goes into the buttocks area. That's the ham.
Okay.
So that's the butt. The ham is the butt.
No, the butt is the butt and the ham is the ham. The butt comes from the shoulder and the front, right?
Correct.
And the butt,
Bill
the ham
Bill-
comes from the back.
Bill H wants to know, can one ship a hamburger? I'm not paying. Hey, I'm not paying for that shipping. That thing's heavy.
Yeah, ship one to Walter.
What's that?
Ship one to Walter.
It'll never make it there. All right, so we got 16 watching. I did see neighbor Mary in here. I want to start out with her first. So Jade showed up and handed me some cookies, which did not last long. And I did have a few, which is hard for me to say no because I like cookies, but I just know they're bad for me. And for one cookie, I have to not drink 2 beers. So that's what I'm saying, DP. So, Jade, can you explain how, was this burnt, etched? How's this work?
So who he's
back.
talking about is my neighbor, Mary. She also goes by Missy. But she's very crafty, and she started doing wood burning this winter, and she taught me how to make something. And if you hang on one second, I'll show you what I made.
Oh my
I'm
goodness.
not sure I understand. Oh my.
I didn't see.
I think I put it in a camper. But anyway, she uses I don't know, do you remember when you were like us older people, remember when they had the little wood burning kits and you could like draw something and then you would burn it out? So she's doing that actually on nicer logs and everything else, and then some little thinner panels. So she decided to be funny and make one for Shane. And then she made a bad apples one also. So she wanted me to bring those down along with the cookies for Shane because she likes watching his show. So Shane's got something here, and she actually painted it to make it more colorful also. And she did it on one of his funny nights. Go ahead.
Here we
Shane.
go. Here we go. This is the funny one. My wife's not a fan of it. I think it's hilarious. It's going on the wall. This is my room, so I can do what I want. Ready?
I like it. It's awesome.
I laughed so hard.
Good
Oh.
job.
What did I just hit? I dropped it. Cancel. Okay. Now, this is the one she made. I left this in the window of the camper the whole weekend.
Yep.
Yeah, that was cool.
So this is one of my I like that a lot, just so you know.
So if I'm right, she either does a projector or like the day that I was over there and she had me do one of a picture of me that she had taken, and she uses like a carbon paper, and she has the picture on paper and then she traces it out and then she'll burn it onto the wood.
Cool.
All right, so I didn't you guys, Jade, Eric, DP, you guys don't know about this that I know of. So I'm going to try to get through this the best I can, because JR, you in here? I thought I'd seen him in here. Is he in here?
Yep. He's there.
All right.
Wait.
All right. So he made me some. Well, I should say he made my wife and I something, and it caught me off guard, and it took me about 10 minutes to come out of the camper because I didn't want nobody to make fun of me. So I'm going to do this on live on the air so you guys can make fun of me. So this really hit home with me, and I'm not going to cry, just so you know. I'm going to try, though, not to cry. So here, this is from JR Paramotors, and I don't know if I can get it all in here. Oh, I can't see. Hold on. The light's killing it.
Without crying, can you read it?
I'll try. I feel like DP on my first tandem.
Just take it a word at a time.
Because someone we love is in heaven, there is a little bit of heaven in our home.
Oh,
Nice.
that is
Yes,
nice.
that's awesome.
Is that wood or metal or what?
Yes, it's wood. So I came out, he was sitting in his chair, and all I could say was thank you, because I couldn't talk. But I greatly appreciate it. And actually, it's probably going to go up. I'll move that flag behind me out of the way and put that there. And then when I finally get around to redoing this room so that I don't have to have a camera on a stand, look over there for the TV, all this stuff, it'll be up here in this room somewhere, preferably where I can see it all the time.
That was
You're
really
welcome, Shane. It was a pleasure making it for you. You're a good dude, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And can you, since you got your daughter there, can we go ahead and talk to her about her first tandem?
Yeah, go ahead.
Tell us who
I
you
don't
are.
think she wants to.
Tell us who you are.
Cadence.
Okay. And who's your awesome dad?
Dad.
So tell him who you flew with. Matt Minier.
Matt Minyard.
And tell us about your flight. Did you keep running, or did you just decide to jump right in your seat right when your feet start moving?
Yeah.
So you look at your dad and say, that's not the thing to do. You got to keep running. Don't let your dad jump in his seat too early when he starts flying.
Yeah, I asked her, I said, so what did Matt tell you on the radio? He said, well, see that guy in the pink shirt? When I say 3, run to that guy in the pink shirt. I said, so what happened after that? She said, Daddy, I was just in the air.
How were you scared?
No.
What did
No.
it feel like?
No.
Man, he was doing, you know, some little wing overs, and then he started porpoising that thing. And I asked him, I was like, "Look, you were never scared? You know, you were facing at the ground a couple times. You know, you weren't scared." No, she liked it. So
There you go. Way to be tough, girl.
yeah, for about 3 hours after that, Daddy, you know where I was just at? I was in that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
she enjoyed-
JR, have you flown in a tandem yet?
I got 25 flights in.
But have you done a tandem though?
No, I never flown in tandem.
Yeah, me neither. I've never done a tandem.
I'd like to try it, just especially with like somebody that is in the acro, just to get that feeling, have them in control. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, do one wing over, you know, get it over with, just to see what they experience. I'm not into that type of stuff, but I'd like to experience it one time without putting my life in jeopardy.
Well, you're on the ship, bro. If it's going down, you're going
Yeah.
with it.
Can't sink half the ship.
What's that?
You can't
Well,
sink half the ship.
Yeah, right. Good Lord. Yeah, the look on her face, man, she was just ear to ear with that tandem.
Yeah.
Now, did you cry at all? Did you
No.
come with overjoyness and just happiness and get tears in your eyes?
No.
No. I know my very first flight when I landed, I cried. I will tell everybody. It's just a magical moment, you know, it's an unreal thing that you just did, and you're still alive. So I guess there's a little bit of holy crap, I'm still alive, and then it's freaking awesome. So
I haven't
So-
done it before. And what? I'm sorry. What's her name? Jr.
Cadence.
Kian.
Cadence. Like
Cadence,
cadence.
that's right. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Cadence. Before you went up, did you have kind of an idea of what you thought it would be like?
No.
You didn't even imagine it.
I didn't know it'd be that cold because I didn't have pants on.
She froze her ass.
I was just wondering if what you imagined was what it actually turned out to be.
No.
So was it
Well-
better? It was
Yeah.
better.
I thought I felt like nothing, but it didn't.
They were getting it because they were, when we were just getting ready to come into land, they were up above Kyle and I. And yeah, Minyard was laying it down up there. I was like, holy crap, I'm glad that's not me up there.
Yeah, it blew my mind. And she must have been really enjoying it, like I said. And she's been in a Cessna 172. That's about it. I got her in that a couple months ago, and she really enjoyed that. But I didn't think she would really foot launch it. Eric and Jade's daughter, I think, is what really talked her into it, because Savannah was already bound and determined she was going for a foot launch. And so Caden said, Daddy, I want to fly. I said, let's go find them. That's up to you.
You want to do it again, Cadence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
you
I
go.
Right there.
Yeah, I see me doing some training, do some tandems for sure. She'll be my little co-pilot.
Hey,
That's
Cadence,
awesome.
now tell that lady that's on the screen with the cowboy hat on, tell her it's okay. She needs to do one too.
Yeah.
I knew that was coming. I like, okay, I'm gonna wait.
And she can come to a fly-in too.
Yeah.
I know, now you're getting me all psyched up. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You do. You need to experience it.
My sister's like, oh no, you ain't doing that. No, I can't. And I was like, oh, you never know.
So I have another question for Cadence. Do you get enough sleep at night, or do you spend all your time late at night watching certain YouTube channels?
No.
So what YouTube channels do you like watching about paramotors?
Live.
I know, but what shows that are live?
All of them.
She watches every single show that comes on. Like, she's supposed to be in bed right now. 8 o'clock's her bedtime.
How's that working out?
That's how she gets out of it, man. Daddy, I want to watch this show. Yeah.
Nicely done.
Hey,
All right,
Cadence.
so
Wait,
oh yeah, Cadence, that look familiar?
do you need to come to Wisconsin now?
Don't tell her that. She wants to.
Hey,
We'll get it,
JR. JR, where are you guys located at? I mean,
We're
just a state.
We're right in the middle of South Carolina.
Okay. All right. All right. So let me get to DP real quick on his tandem, and we will talk to him, and we can see what his feelings were about it. DP,
Yes, sir.
how's it going, sir? How are you doing today?
I'm doing very well. Thank you.
How was work?
Work wasn't too bad today. Pretty low key. So it was nice it was my first day back since being at Bad Apples. So yeah, it was all right.
I'm on
I'd
my
rather
second
still be
day.
at Bad Apples, but
Yeah, you and me both. This is my second day, and I feel I'm already exhausted. I'm like, I need a vacation from that vacation. So you decided to get your tandem, and I know we talked about this last night, but I kind of want to add some different little angles here. So was there any concerns from the pilot that was taking you? Who took you up?
Kyle Mooney.
Okay. Was there any concerns with your prosthetic or anything like that from him, or
No, the last thing he said, he kind of pointed down and he goes, and that you worried about that at all? And I said, nope, should be fine. He said, okay, we'll just make sure if it does fall off that you try to do it over a field where we can find it.
not in the heavy
Like I have a choice.
Yeah, right.
Oh,
Okay.
well, at least he was honest, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Fall off, or fall in the field, you know?
Well,
so-
he did say once we get up, feel free to take your feet off the pegs and let your legs kind of hang, which I would have done normally, but I wasn't wearing, it's basically just an outer sleeve that kind of gives me an extra added layer of security to keep that thing on me. And I wasn't wearing that because honestly, I didn't think I was going to have that tandem.
Right.
Because we had talked about it earlier in the day and they were kind of booked up. I didn't feel like that was going to happen, which was okay because I'm getting another one here pretty soon.
So Dave, when you hear that motor, you feel that motor full throttle, and then all of a sudden you kind of get jerked back from the wing inflating. Did you think that was normal? Did you kind of get a little?
No, I didn't feel a whole lot of that, or at least I don't remember going, oh, or reacting to it. I was focused on, I think I was focused on the front tire between my feet. And once I heard that engine really start to rev up, and then I started to see the shadow on the ground of the wing coming up behind us. And it was just like, this is what you want. Here it goes, get ready. And I was just focusing on that tire as we started traveling down the field. And I'm like, any second now, this thing's going to lift off. And it did. And it was just like, it just happened so quickly, but it was such a smooth transition that it was like, I don't know. You don't even feel it. It's
Right.
So calm. Even with a little turbulence and some bumps, he pointed out a couple of times, oh, that's just a little turbulence, nothing, no big deal. And I was thinking, gosh, that wasn't bad at all, which I kind of thought my bump tolerance would be at a negative something. And I might, be be clinching up a little bit when I experienced my first turbulence in the air, but it really, it wasn't too bad because he'd say, yep, just a little turbulence, no big deal. And I was like, yeah, no problem.
Yeah, but you have a professional flying. When you're in control and you hit a bump, you're like, this is all dependent on me.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
So as you're taxiing, does it not feel like you're just absolutely just going 100 miles an hour on the ground?
It didn't really to me. And I don't know if that's just because I've got so many years of riding really fast motorcycles under my belt, but it didn't feel like we were just blazing the trail or anything. Definitely clipping along, which was cool.
Right.
But yeah, it was, I was more surprised really at just how quickly we got in the air and watching replays of the video. Yeah, I mean, it just kind of shows me that, yeah, it didn't take too long before we were wheels up.
Well, there's another part of this question. So you don't think you were going all that fast. Wait till you're foot launching with no wind and you have to run just as fast. And then I want to ask you the same question later. Did you feel like you were moving then? Because
yeah, I have a feeling that'll be a little different when that happens.
Yeah. Just keep running. You keep running until you don't feel your feet on the ground and you run a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then you're going. So yeah.
Yeah.
I was building up to that point, just so you know. Oh no, it wasn't that fast. That's because you were on wheels. Wait till you're on.
Right.
And you're gonna be like, I ran as fast as I can, and that wing didn't do anything. It's because you have to run faster. It's not all.
Yeah.
I mean, it really just depends on your wing. I'm sure they're probably gonna set you up with a little bit more loftier wing, so that your running isn't going to be as much. I mean, the smaller your wing, the more you have to run harder. And not that you. I mean, with you playing tennis and stuff, I'm sure you're very used to having to run as hard and stop and go. So I don't really think that's the problem. It's just literally the smaller your wing, the faster you're going to have to run. And when it comes down to, having a little bit loftier wing, that's why I'm going to sound really dumb right now. Like I'm conceited, but that's why my takeoffs don't take as long, is because my wing's very lofty and it's easier to control. But you watch some of these guys that are a little heavy on their wings, and they run and run and run, and then they finally get in the air, and then you just literally, as they're getting their brakes, they're just panting because they're dying. They don't spend every bit of energy, and I'm just like, in my seat now. Where are we going? Because I didn't have to run as hard. I'm kind of fat, so I can't run that much.
What size of wing do you use?
I'm on 27.
Okay. I got to think they'll have me on like a 26 or a 28 or something like that, but I don't know.
What's your
I'm
weight?
6 feet, 210.
Okay.
I'm hoping to be maybe between 2 and 205 by the time the 29th rolls around.
If not, you will be when you're ready to graduate there, because I think I ended up losing in 10, I think it was 10 days. I ended up losing, I think, 12 pounds.
Oh, wow.
But you're talking from the time the sun come up, we put our wings out and kited all the first 3 days. That's all we did. I was so beat up and sore from the harness. The wing comes up and it pulls onto in between your legs. And, I mean, after a while, dude, it doesn't matter how comfortable it is. After a while, it just starts digging. And, you're turning and you're running. So the risers are on your arms. Those are all bruised. I mean, it looks, you're paying somebody to kick your butt, just so you know.
Yeah.
Actually, you're paying someone to kick your own butt.
Yes.
Because I was so beat up. I was sending pictures to my wife. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, apparently beating myself up, because I mean, I was bruised from head to toe. I was exhausted. I would come home, or back to the camper. I would put in 12, 13 briquettes in the charcoal grill. I'd light that thing up. as soon as the coals got hot, I'd put whatever dinner I was cooking on there. I would eat, go in, take a shower, call my wife, say, listen, I'm done. Like I'm exhausted. And I locked the camper doors, and I don't think I even rolled over in the middle of the night. I was just done. You know, like for 10 days. For even when we started flying, I mean, when we were done flying, you couldn't fly anymore. We were kiting. And it was just, and I hate to break it to you, Dave, how you don't work outside. So someone's at my front door. So it's hot here. I mean, it's Africa hot. Why do you gotta shut the door too? Just leave it open. You let the dogs out.
Is that Krista?
No, that's Evil, my daughter.
Evil.
Yeah, her nickname's Evil. No, seriously, that's her nickname. It used to be Evil Knievel, and then because she used to be not scared of nothing. Now she's scared of everything, and she just likes to do practical jokes. And oh, by the way, I got her good with the snake in the pellet box.
Oh, good. Did you get it? Did you record it?
No, I didn't. But I can't tell you how many times this little girl has gone outside, came back in the house with a black snake or a rat snake, and be like, "Hey, Dad, look, I'm gonna name it whatever." I'm like, "All right, go put it back out in the yard." And then, she's not scared of snakes, but it's a surprise kind of thing. You don't expect it. You know, snakes don't bother me either. I used to have 11 snakes sleeping in my bedroom in a cage. Which, by the way, Jade, I'm gonna tell you this story because I just thought of it. So I was at the pet store getting mice for the snakes. I had 10 ball pythons, and then I had a Burmese or two that actually ate rabbits because they were big enough to eat rabbits. But they had a sale on chicks. You can get 4 for $1. So I bought $4 worth of chicks, dropped them in the cage, and they just started disappearing.
Oh, God.
That was pretty awesome.
That's so wrong.
But
I used to let one of mine sleep in bed with me.
yeah, well, when my son was born, he was born 8 pounds, 2 ounces, and my snake was eating 13-pound rabbits. So yeah, I was like, you got to go, bro. I'm not trying to explain that one. Where's your son? Not sure. Snake's got a ball in it though. So back to you, Dave. Just prepare yourself for the Florida heat. I mean, it's not that this isn't a good time, because the sooner you learn, the sooner you fly. But Jesus, dude, it's the wrong time of year to learn how to fly.
Yeah.
It's just gonna be hot.
I don't have an outdoor type of job, but it gets pretty darn hot and humid here in the Charleston area as well.
Right.
Pretty similar to what you experience. And I do have to stand outside in the blazing sun in a suit while a funeral and a burial is going on. And I basically soak through everything I'm wearing. So definitely am used to the heat, but I'm also a very accomplished sweater. So I'm going to be taking about 3 times the amount of t-shirts and everything else that I would normally take on a 9-10 day trip. Yeah.
I mean, once you go to class, you start sweating, just let it be. Cause I mean, you're just going to fit in with everybody else. I mean, I work outside, and I was having problems with how hot it was. And I did it in October.
Oh, wow.
And I ended on November 2nd, I believe it was. And it still was 90 degrees. I'm just like, dude, I thought I was smart. I actually pushed out, because I could have done it in August. And I was like, oh, no. I'll wait till October. And it was still 90 degrees. It was just nasty.
Did they break up your training time? Like each day, maybe you do a couple hours of kiting, then go in and do like classwork kind of stuff, or how they, okay. And what about breaks?
Well,
and stuff like that.
Four Winds does the same syllabus as, I guess they were partners at one point or what have you, is my understanding. So I've watched aviators videos and listened to the same stuff, and I've heard the same exact stuff that my teacher told us that I hear from the aviator videos. So what we did in the morning, we kited until the winds picked up and it wasn't safe for newbies to be out kiting. Then we would go to the classroom and we would go over airspace, rules, regulations, blah, blah, blah. And then we go and have pretty much a 2.5 hour lunch, like the hottest part of the day. And then we would come back 2 hours before the sun went down and we'd kite until you couldn't kite until it got dark, and then we would take off again. Now, if for some reason the winds are really strong, you pretty much just get blown out that day, and you kind of, unfortunately for 10 days we didn't get blown out. we worked on kiting every single day. I think on day 3 he came in and he's like, hey, we're gonna be towing today. I'm like, yo, I can barely kite, bro. Like, so we ended up kiting, everything worked out great. Went up 60, 70 feet, and then you glide back down, you land, and everything's great. But day 4, he's like, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and put our motors on, we're gonna inflate the wing, you're gonna taxi. If everything looks good, we're gonna take off. I'm like, no, we're not. I was like, no. But yeah, we did. Day 4, we all flew, and it was awesome.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're towing, they only took you up 70, 80 feet or so, huh? For some reason, I was thinking it would be a lot higher than that.
No, because they pretty much just get you up enough when they release the pressure. It's enough to when the wing will dive, and then it levels out, and you just start floating down. And then they just go, okay, you're gonna start adding a little light pressure, flare, and then you just land. And it kind of gives you. What's that?
Are you connected the whole time, or do they?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, okay. I was thinking they take you up and then clink, and then you.
No.
Okay.
The line is slack. So as you move forward, that line is, you're kind of just dragging the line behind you. You don't even ever feel it. You don't notice it. Because you're looking at the ground only. You're just like, holy crap, I'm responsible for myself now. And then, but all the landings, all of us in the class did excellent. No one, stumbled, what have you. You just listen to them, just listen to the instructor, and everything else is easy. So when I say easy,
Ben in the chat said, but also pace yourself during training.
100%. And that's the other thing too. If you start getting hot, tired, whatever, if you say, hey, listen, I need a break, they're not going to be like, nope, you got to get up. Now,
yeah.
If you were just working 10 minutes after a half-hour break, and you're out 10 minutes, you're like, hey, I need another break, they're probably going to be like, this is probably not the sport for you, because they need to get a certain amount of hours. You have to have a certain amount of hours under your wing before they'll let you fly. So when you bring the wing up and you're kiting it, your timer starts. Let's say that you're required to have 10 hours. Okay. So if you keep your wing up for 1 minute, well, now you're 9 hours and 59 minutes shy of what they need you to do. So, for us, he said 10 hours, and I guarantee you we weren't shy on those 10 hours. We just constantly were kiting. And I was just like, dude, I'm done with this. Like, but it's the things that you're going to learn that are going to make a difference when you do start flying. So it's a pain in the butt. I don't kite as much as I should. I was told that, if you go for an hour flight, come back and kite for a half hour. And I really, unless there's something wrong with my wing, I really don't kite. And I say I'm saying that out loud, and I know a lot of people in the chat are probably not, they're like, oh, you should be kiting more than that. And there are times I go to the beach and I'm just like, I'm bringing my wing and we'll walk up and down the beach, but that's a whole different kind of kiting. You know, the wind is just there. You know, you just walk down the beach with it like, okay, I'm not really doing anything because the wind's just holding it there.
Right.
But it's an awesome sport. And I don't know, how does your wife feel about this?
She feels, Hey, honey, how do you feel about this?
Paramotoring.
She just went,
Hi guys.
Hi.
Good to see you. Look at those faces.
aren't they all pretty,
They
except for
are.
Shane?
Yeah, mine looks better in the dark.
Hi,
So-
John.
So how do we feel about your husband flying?
I'm coming around. I'm turning a corner. I think seeing the atmosphere this weekend and seeing just watching all the people, the individuals doing the foot launches. I kind of wish he would do trike, and maybe he will eventually just because of his leg. Just feeling, I think he'll feel more secure with that eventually. But, it's just like any sport, I guess, that's a little dangerous like this one. It makes me nervous, of course.
Right. So any wants or hopes to find yourself in a tandem going up and tooling around?
I'm coming around to that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe ask me after his training and after I see him go up and fly. I'm going down to Florida near the end of his training so I can kind of watch and see him taking some solo flights, I hope, and
Right.
we'll see. But
I myself are going to be over there. I won't have my wing because I'd left it in Georgia to get inspected, and I don't expect to have it back for like 3 weeks. So,
Hey, I'll bring my 14-meter kiting wing. You can fly on that if you want to take out a 14-meter.
yeah, I'm gonna have to take my moster and tie it to the back of a car, and then we're all gonna just have to take off. So yeah, I may end up if I may not go, Dave, the first week that you're there, but I'll probably come up the second week that you're training.
Okay.
in hopes to see you fly, and I'll be like Linda. I'll be your cheerleader. I'll bring pom-poms.
Pom-poms and a wig.
Janie,
I'm just saying.
that's right. Bring your pom-poms, baby.
Hey, Linda, how do you
Yes,
feel?
baby.
How do you feel about your son flying? You ever get worried?
No, not really. I'm just happy he's doing what he loves, and I'm good with it. Yeah, it's in the back of my mind. Oh my gosh, but you can't let that stop you, and that's not gonna stop me from watching him flying.
Right.
Yeah, he's, like I said, he's doing what he loves, and I will totally support him on that. And just like, I got my para family here, and I love what everybody does. And yeah, so I don't know, he's living the dream. He loves it. And so I'm
Does anybody want to ask me what my wife thinks about it?
Yes.
It is stupid. She don't understand. This is why guys live longer.
That's what it is. That's what it is.
Jordankies in the house. Fly, baby, fly. PPG. My shoulder is a little tender, but I don't plan to fly for 3 weeks. So I'm going to see how that works out with resting it as much as possible and not holding my other hand up like this. So I did leave out part of the video because it's no one will understand it but me. I have this section of the video. I'm literally pulling left brake and instantly I'm swinging and I go to pull to the right and nothing really happens. So I settle the wing down and I just go right, but I have no strength in my arm because my arm is all screwed up right now. And you just see from the top angle, you just see we try it and nothing happens. I go, my head just shakes and I'm just like, nope, not going to happen. So I got to get something done to my arm, shoulder.
Did I get that cleaned up?
Yeah, I don't know what I did. It does be a third time. Isn't there like a buy two, get one free or something?
So Shane, which was easier for you or more difficult, depending on how you want to answer this? The taking off or the landing? Taking off or landing?
I'm going to say landing, although you really don't have a choice. They've never left anybody up there. So, but you have to deal with oscillation when you're coming in. You know, you kill your motor and you're floating down and all of a sudden you hit a little bump and now you're oscillating back and forth. So you have to have the mindset to correct that before you land, because you don't want to try to landing and have your weight shifted to one side. You know, so you want to control that before you land. I honestly, once I put that motor on my back, which by the way, when I first picked that motor up and I was standing there, I was like, I can't run with this. Like, it literally was everything I could do. And I realized quickly how out of shape I was at that moment. Even walking over to the golf cart, getting on the back of the golf cart and driving across the over to the LZ where we're going to be taking off and landing. As soon as I got off the golf cart, I put the motor down. I was just like, and then Shannon, she's like, oh, at some point you're going to be standing here talking to people with your motor on your back. You won't even pay attention to it. And literally I go gather my wing up after I land at the fly-in. I walk all the way across the field, you know, and put my wing down and then set my motor down. And it's not a big deal anymore because I'm so used to carrying it. But at first I was just like, I was like, I can't do this. But as soon as I got that motor on my back, you inflate the wing, it picks up partial weight of the motor. Then you add throttle, that picks up the rest of the weight of the motor. So it's really just you running. So you're not carrying all that weight. Once that wing starts a forward motion, it's lifting you. And when you get going fast enough, it lifts all of you. So I think the takeoff is easier than the landing because you have to flare at the right time. If you flare too early, you're going to balloon. And if you don't flare enough, you're going to end up on your knees and then you're going to face plant and take a chance. So for me, I would like to say that my answer would be taking off is easier than landing. Because once your motor's off, you're done. You know what I mean? You're coming in. You ain't got a choice.
Yeah, I saw some folks in the chat where some people were saying that taking off was the easier part, and a couple said that landing they felt was easier. Did you see Kylo posted not too long ago top 10 mistakes from students? And,
no, I didn't
one
see
of
it.
them, not in any particular order of importance, was don't go out and get a backpack and fill it with rocks and walk around with rocks in a backpack because you think you got to beef yourself up to carry a paramotor. He was like, nah, basically you're just holding the weight until you start running. And once the wing inflates, it really takes a lot of that weight off of you. So it's really not like you're running 50 yards with 80 pounds on your back. I guess unless it's an extreme nil-will type of launch situation.
I would say within the first 5 or 6 steps, you're going to have 80% of that weight off of you. And with every step forward, you're going to have less weight that you're holding. And then at some point, you're not even really carrying your own weight. Your feet are just literally just hitting the ground and it's not really doing nothing. And then you hit a little break and you're up in the air. So what we need to do is ask the wing, what's the hardest part? Is it picking the guy up with the paramotor, or what is the hard part for the wing? So Ben from Paramotor Instinct says it's the opposite for him. So he has more trouble with taking off than landing.
Yeah, Will said he landing is easier for him too. How much easier, Will? You're on mute.
You sound great though.
Man, I've been trying to jump in here the last hour. No wonder. I figured you were just ignoring me. That's all right.
We thought you were waiting for your Sunday or Blizzard or whatever they got you ordered.
But for me, takeoff has always been more of a challenge because, you know, on landing, you pretty much got the flare and the ground, you know, those two variables coming at you. I mean, assuming, you know, the decent wind, but on takeoff, I mean, the wing can be doing all kinds of different things, and then you got to contend with the wind, and it's just always been a little bit more of a challenge for me. And of course, I have to run a little further than most people too. So, and Ben, well, oddly enough, he's got an Atom 82. So, okay, there's that.
And what you're gonna, Dave, what you're gonna find out in this sport is this exact conversation we're having right now. If you ask somebody, do you want to run ethanol free or avgas? What sport? Huh?
The oil.
Yeah, the oil. What two-stroke oil to use? I mean, literally, it's just. But you're always going to have you have a wide variety of people that have different skill levels and confidence, and it's when it comes to taking off or landing, you're gonna. You have to take it for each individual person's point of view, because honestly, when I inflated my wing and took off, as soon as that motor started pushing me, I was like, oh my God, this is the easiest thing I've done. And then coming in to land, I literally was foot dragging on landings my first couple of times. Now I, for some reason, have no idea how to do that. When I come into land, I picked up some bad habit or something, and now my flares are like at the last second, and I just put my feet down, and I don't know. Before I was coming in.
Do you do like a foot drag landing when you land, Will, or do you just?
I just take what I can get and try to make it as soft as possible. No, I have done the foot drag landing, but honestly, it wasn't intentional. But it was a good landing, you know. I mean,
hey,
so
Dave,
I'm not staring at the ground when I land. I got a good shot at it being a decent landing.
So Dave,
not staring at the ground.
Do not stare at the ground. Like you're at your feet. They'll teach you to look at the horizon, which at first doesn't make any sense. You're like, I got to look at the ground. That's what's coming at me. But it gives you a false. What's the word I'm looking for?
Your depth perception is
screwed. Yeah. The time you flare, it's too late. But if you look out at the horizon, it makes more sense. Once you try it a couple times and do it correctly, you're like, oh, I get it now. At every one of my probably the first 10 landings I did was staring right at my feet, like at the ground. You know, I was like, oh my God, that's where I'm going to hit. So that's what I need to look at. And then he was on the radio just saying, no, look at me. And he was way out in front of me. And then he's like, okay, a little pressure. And then I was just like, oh, that worked out much better. And it was much easier. And that's the same thing with the water foot drag. If you're not that you want to do that, but if you look at the water right at your feet, you're going in. But if you look out in front of you and just kind of lower yourself till your feet hit, then you're golden. If you ever watch these guys that are foot dragging for distance, you'll see their eyes are straight ahead, like looking straight out. They're not looking at the ground. There's a reason for it. Let me ask you, Dave, with your accident, was that your dominant leg or not your dominant leg?
I guess it depends. For drumming, yes, it was my dominant foot or leg. For basketball, no, it was not my dominant leg. So, but mainly I would say yes.
So if if you're getting ready to take off to go running, would that be your back leg or your front leg?
My back leg.
Okay.
Yeah,
The reason
like when
I'm-
I set up in tennis to receive a shot or something, usually my left foot's slightly ahead of my right.
Okay. Well, the reason I'm asking is because when you come into land, if your dominant leg is your prosthetic leg, you're gonna have to remember. I don't have no clue what I'm talking about when it comes to loss of a limb, but I would assume that you're gonna have to put down your other leg before that
That's
one.
my plan.
I have, but it's kind of hard to beat because hard to figure out because if your dominant leg is your prosthetic leg, then
Well,
That's just
my
one more-
prosthetic leg was my dominant leg. It's no longer my dominant leg. My left leg is much stronger now than my
Yeah.
prosthetic leg, just because of atrophy and everything. So I'm
Right.
planning on sticking my left out to take the first bit of force,
right.
Because it's definitely more sturdy of a leg than my prosthetic side.
Yeah, we
Trust
have
me, that's something I've been thinking about, like, oh crap, what should I try? And I'll probably try both and see what works best, but I have a feeling if I came down on the right, I'd have a much higher probability of doing a face plant than if I came
Right.
down on my left.
I was actually wondering that at Bad Apples. When I got ready to land, one of the times after you were there, I was like, if I had to switch, I'm not making a joke. If I
No, that's
had
cool.
to switch legs and stick the other one out in front of the other one, like that's just one more damn thing I'd have to think of before I landed. It's what I was honestly thinking. Like I'm trying to put myself in your shoes, if you will. And I was like, man, I couldn't do that. Like I couldn't switch legs. So that's why I asked you, because I really did think about this during a landing.
Yeah.
No way in front of 200 or 300 and something pilots was I going to try to switch legs and land. Cause I was like, yeah, no, we'll just stick to what we know. And that's this leg out in front of the other leg. How's it going, Dave Wolf? Hello, sir.
Flounder.
Dave says Travis will guide you through all that. Deeply. Through the leg.
Yes, I hope so.
Plus I'm sure you're going to you'll be towed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
I did want to say something before we got off the topic, Shane, and there was a really interesting. It just dawned on me when you said that. When you went up, I've never been on a tandem.
Me neither.
Yeah, but I can't tell you how many times I've been up, early on, and ask myself the question, is that normal? Is that normal? Is that normal? So I can really see the benefit of going up, with an instructor on tandem, because you really don't know what's normal and what's not normal. So
Right.
probably go a long way towards building your confidence too.
Yeah, I guess that is a good point, because of course, Kyle being the pilot, I wasn't worried about anything other than just, experiencing the moment. And, when we first got up a little ways, he said, and I may have said this last night, do you have motion sickness? And I said, I don't think so. And he said, well, let's find out. And he did some wing overs. And for a little bit there, yeah, I started to get a little kind of dizzy. But then that kind of went away. And so I don't think, wing overs or anything like that when I myself am flying will be, I tend to think that if I'm doing the maneuver, it'll be easier on me, whether it's my blood pressure, my brain rattling around, or whatever makes somebody motion sickness or have motion sickness. But I kind of think that as a passenger, you might feel it a little more than if you're the one that's actually operating the controls.
Well, we have, hold on real quick. We have Dave Wolf in the house, and then we have some guy that says, hey, all, when it comes down to it, there's no thought about it. You just land and run it out. That's Craig Taylor. What does he talk about? He says he knows a guy. I don't know what that means.
I don't know who that Craig Taylor is.
Yeah.
He almost is talking like he knows what it's like to have one leg. I don't know.
So I did honestly, like I said, all jokes aside, I was coming into land and I had naturally put my strong leg out in front. And I thought to myself, what if that wasn't my strong leg anymore? Like that would just be an extra thing that you have to think about before landing. But I guess over time, you just that leg does become your dominant leg and you kind of figure it out, I guess. I don't know. I got high hopes for you. I just, I want to be there to watch you and just help be happy for you. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it's going to be awesome. You're a great guy. And your wife's way cooler, but
yes, thank you.
If I had $1 for every time someone was like, Shane, you're okay. Your wife's freaking awesome though. I could have paid for the whole trip all by myself.
Yeah, my wife just adores your wife.
Yeah.
She really doesn't like you much, but that's all right.
She obviously has a good sense.
Well, I told her first, you're not gonna like this dude, but whatever, make up your own mind.
Yeah, after you go to school and you learn to fly, you think that would be the hardest part about this whole thing. You know what the hardest part, and I want to ask the chat as well, and those on the panel here. After you've left school, your very first time taking off after school, you don't have an instructor in your ear. You're literally relying on what you've remembered during class, and you take off. Who in here thinks that's not the hardest part about flying? That first unsupervised your first flight. For
definitely unnerving. Yeah.
For me, I had about 12 guys at the compound all watching me. And I took off. Thank God everything worked out great and we were good to go. But actually Jason with the two Blondie and Boots, he was there and I inflated the wing. He gave me the thumbs up. I gave it full throttle and we were good to go. But man, that was the hardest part for me about that after class, that first, you're responsible. There's no one telling you what to do. Take off. And it's just like, oh crap. Okay, the wing's up. I've checked my wing tips. I'm moving forward. I'm going to add a little gas. I'm taxiing and I'm gone. Yeah, that first one was really, really hard.
It had to have been really satisfying though once you landed, right?
Oh God, yeah. And here we go again. Another first. Unsupervised coming into land. And you're like, okay, here we come. And everything worked out fine. All of my flights have been truly uneventful now I think my third touch and go. If you're ever running and you try to jump over a log or a ditch because you didn't see it, you let off the throttle because as soon as you jump in the air, it shoots your wing back. Or I'm sorry, it shoots it forward and then it comes back and you think that it gives you lift, but it doesn't. It surges forward and it drives you into the ground. And I almost did that on my third touch and go. Came in to do a touch and go, ran into a ditch. I had tall grass. If you haven't been to the compound, but trust me, you don't see the ditch. And as I was falling forward, because I hit the throttle and the wing surged forward and kind of drove me to the ground. As I was falling forward, I hit the throttle and it literally put 2 holes in the tips of my shoes as it lifted me off the ground. I got so unbelievably lucky. And I didn't do another touch and go for probably 6-7 months. I was like, done. Don't need to worry about that. But yeah, no.
Shane,
what?
You're so you're talking about the flights after you left training, but you actually still had a group of guys around you.
Oh, the compound is like a mini fly-in almost every weekend.
Okay, and I've experienced that too. And actually, I hung out with my local group before I went solo. But do you remember doing it for the first time just by yourself?
With no one around.
No one around. Crickets.
Dude, I got to think about that because for the first 9 months I went out to the compound, there was somebody there.
Yeah. Well, I remember it very well, and that was very difficult. The go no go decision was all mine, man.
Hold on, I'll be right back. We got Daddy Dutch Barbecue, Jason Russell Smith in the house. Who else am I missing here? Hey, actually, Eric, Daddy Dutch Barbecue, he's a damn good cook. So if you've got, and he does know a thing or two about pellet smokers. So if you got questions, you might want to ask it and then look in the chat. I'll be right back. I got to answer the door.
There goes the host.
Hey, so ask Eric and Jay, tell us about your first time after your school, your first takeoffs and landings.
Well, I'll talk first because Eric fell asleep.
I saw that.
Yeah. My first takeoff was pretty amazing. Kind of felt like how Amy explained, crying. I got in the sky and I came around and my instructor was in my ear, and in my video on YouTube, I have it in there, and I start kind of getting choked up and I just said, I can't believe I'm doing this. And he was talking at the same time, so I don't think he even heard it. But my story is, I really didn't want to do this. I was scared because I don't like roller coasters. I don't like heights. And Eric's like, just come on, try it. And I'm like, no, I'm pretty happy with videoing you and sitting in a chair. So we started doing the kiting. And then because of my bad knee with 7 knee surgeries and needing a new knee next round, they decided to put me in a trike and start practicing with a trike. So I did that, and Eric wasn't cutting his hair. And I'm like, can you please cut your hair? He's like, I'm not cutting my hair until you take your first flight. So in my first flight video, also, you'll see that it's like sunset. It's a Sunday evening. We still have to drive 3 hours home, get to bed, and get to work Monday morning. And I came down, I threw my phone at my instructor. I ran in our camper and I grabbed the scissors and I chopped one big section of hair off of his head, and he went to work the next day like that too. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it, and that's what happened. So and ever since then I have been loving it. I still get nervous. I think mine is the takeoffs are the hardest for me. I was on a Atom 80 training and I'm on a Moster 185 now. So I just wasn't understanding the throttle and the speed that I needed to go at first to get the wing up, to get it from that fluttering phase up, at the top, and then continue going. So couple landings where I felt like I fell 5 feet out of the sky because I braked a little too early. But it was just a timing thing. And Eric did really well. Well, his first time going up, he ended up having a motor out and landed one field over. Apparently, there was some wire shortages in the one motor that he was using and in the throttle, and the throttle went out, and he ended up having a motor out, and he landed fine. The only time he had problems, he tore a growing muscle right towards the end of our training, and he was black and blue all the way down to the knee. So we ace bandaged it, but then that's why he flies a trike now, because towards the end he had said, maybe I should fly a trike. And the instructor said, I'll teach you while Jade's finishing up. And I think he did 5 flights with them. And he loves doing that too. So we do that together during the winter. And he tweaked it a little bit at Bad Apples again, but he's just got to figure out what he's doing wrong with stepping, I'm assuming. So
Jade,
that's
Jade,
it.
do you have some parakeets or something? Is that the tropical birds in the background?
It's the flamingos. Didn't you see him? I had him on my shoulder before.
So Kent Stamey puts in not having your instructor in your ear is way harder than training. Jason Russell Smith put in there the he still has his instructor in his ear after 2.5 years. If you ever, not that anybody really cares, but I literally go through the same, I hear my instructor going through saying doors, roads, brakes, clear to pulleys every single time. And it'll happen to most everybody. When I come in the land, I hear pressure, 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 flare. Like calm, just every time. I've never landed or taken off without hearing Lauren in my ear, just every time. So, but Jade,
That's what I was going to ask you.
What's that?
Because when you're in training, you're going pressure, and they talk you down. So you don't have to look at the ground because, they're watching you and telling you exactly when to do what. But when they're not there, what keeps you from wanting to look at the ground because you don't have them in your ear? So you just put it in your crazy brain.
So what'll end up happening is, depending on how many flights you get, every time that you go to land and you hear your instructor telling you pressure, 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 flare, when you're looking out, your mind will set a distance or an altitude of when you should start hearing pressure, 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 pressure. And the next thing you know, it's just second nature. When you hear the third pressure, then flare is coming next. And you don't have to look at the ground, but you'll know that's the next thing. And you flare and you land, you're like, holy crap, this is easy. But you will always hear that. I don't know if it's for everybody. I know it's for me and Jason. We both just, it's so funny, dude. I hear every time I'm saying doors, roads, brakes, clear to pulley. Grab your, what is it? What does he say? Grab your A's. So you bend down, grab your A's. You get them over your arms. And I remember this so clearly. He would always come by and just like slap your elbows to the back of the cage. Arms back, I'm like, dude, they don't go no further, bro. That's it. And he's like pushing. And when I first started, I couldn't reach up and grab my pull start. Like I had to use the little tether that's attached to it and then grab it here. And same thing with taking off, looking up at your wingtip. I could never, I'd have to like kind of cockeyed my body to look. Now I've gotten so stretched out now that I'm able to look back and see my wingtips without any kind of effort. Before I couldn't do it without turning my whole body. I get to a certain point and I'm like, okay, now what? But after doing it for so long now that it's no problem.
Interesting.
Let's see what's going on in the chat here.
Good
So
questions.
Eric, if your body wasn't old, would you rather trike fly or foot launch?
Give me a moment.
Like you said, she can't stop laughing. Yes, Kent. I still read their chat. Dude, being a host is hard, man. It's not easy. You got to pay attention, keep topic, and first of all, I said pay attention. My attention span is real short.
Yeah, Kelby Cox. I have heard from a friend of mine by the name of Craig Taylor that he calls this his sky therapy, which I think is perfect for what I need.
Yeah, we got you did meet Mr. Cox in Bad Apples, correct?
I did. When we got there, he was leaving to go somewhere, but I don't think I saw him again. But yeah, it was kind of funny because he rolled his window down and I was looking at him and I knew who he was. And he's like, you know, I'm like, Kelby. And then my wife said, Kelby Cox. And he was like, well, because he wasn't expecting her to know his name, but she had heard it and seen it on the chats from just my watching from afar on these podcasts. So it was pretty funny, the look on his face when she said, yeah, Kelby Cox, right?
Right. Daddy Dutch, yes, we will be seeing you. And no, I will not be flying. I left my wing in Georgia to get inspected because apparently when you buy a brand new wing, you only have to have it inspected every 2 years, unless you're like me, who has 100 and almost 30 hours, and that's needed to get done. So I won't be flying over and landing in your yard to ask for breakfast. But yes, we will see each other. Actually, can you give me a call tomorrow? I'll call you, and we'll work out some other details because we're coming. Just so you know, we'll be there. Cupcake Kristen and I will be there.
Walter joined
Okay.
the chat.
So I think Eric's around, but I'm not sure if he's going to join to have you ask the question. So tell him to come back on.
Oh my God, how am I supposed to tell him that? Eric, come back on.
Come on, Eric.
Wrong, Eric.
Where's Eric?
She was drunk.
Hold on. Holy crap.
Hey, Mike Rockwood is on chat. Hi, Mike.
Who?
Mike Rockwood.
Oh, yeah, my bad. Now, I didn't hear what you said at first. Okay, so JR's, I think in his Eric is joined in. Eric, how's it going, sir?
No, pretty good.
All right, so I have a question.
Shoot.
If your body wasn't so old and you could do one or the other, would you rather foot launch or trike?
Ooh, that's a hard question because each one has their pros and cons.
I agree.
I'd have to say foot launch, to be honest with you. I like what you, so the foot for me, foot launch is better in rougher air. You can mentally, I can do the micro mini wing overs in my foot launch, where with the trike, I wouldn't even try it. But coming in fast with the trike and touching down is a blast, you know. And you can let your feet hang. You can pretty much do anything. It's just you always in the back of your head know that trike weighs a couple pounds more. And those little lines that you use as dental floss that are holding you up. So that's always going through your head. But if you are going to school, just let the instructor know that I would like to instantly get my wheel rating also, only because then you don't have to go back to get it again. And there's not much that is different when you go to get your wheel rating, because it's all the same. The only difference is you're steering to stay under the wing with your feet, and when you are you brake a little bit more when that wing starts to come over. You learn where to brake and brake a little bit more to get that wing from overshooting you.
Right. Now, did Jade train those flamingos to yell at you cheap, cheap, cheap?
Can you hear them?
Yeah. So as a pilot, do you hear your instructor as you're flying, taking off, getting ready to land, whatever? Do you hear him in your voice or in your head?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I still hear him. I mean, I'm constantly learning. Every time I go up, I'm learning something new. This bad apples, I learned that when I kept pulling my leg muscle, I'm like, man, maybe I'm just getting old. I need to go right to trike. But I won't. I mean, you're always learning.
How many people at Bad Apples did you watch trying to take off with their brakes buried full throttle?
Surprisingly, a lot. And I'm looking at this, and me to say, you know, let off the brakes, let off the. That's all I kept saying is like every time you turn around, I'm looking and I'm watching people that their arms are literally below their shoulders, and they're trying to take off, and all they're doing is they're pulling that wing behind them because the wing's not overhead, the wing is behind them, and they're pulling it. Finally the wing will surge forward, and then they get up and get going. But a lot of people use a lot of brakes.
Yeah, it's bad. I mean, I constantly, that's where, you know, with Lauren pushing your arms back, telling you that's where they need to be, that's where they need to be until you get going. And then literally, I'm not pulling, I literally just turn my arms down, you know, from up here to down here. And that's pretty much where I need to be to take off. And I just sit there and I do it all. I watch them like, get out of the brakes, get out of the brakes. And you just see the wing fall back and it starts doing this. And then all of a sudden it just rolls over. You like, I watched one guy do 4 failed launches and brakes pulled all the way to his hip bones. I'm like, do you feel like you need to go out there and say, hey, maybe you should stay out of the brakes? But then you're stuck between going out there and saying that and looking like an asshole, or you sit there and don't do nothing and the pilot gets hurt because maybe they don't know.
Man, I was scared to death that go down there and have failed launches. And I think I had one for sure. And I can't remember if I had a second one closer to the end of the week. But I was just scared to death, you know, to be in front of everybody. And Eric even asked me, you know, and that one, I think it was just a crosswind. It stood straight up on its side, and I gave up on that. I knew I wasn't going to recover from that. But that was my biggest fear, is failed launches.
Well, I had 1 or 2. One of them, I had a great inflation moving forward and realized I didn't have my throttle in my hand. It was still clipped in. I was like, and that's in the video. I turned the wing back, set it down, and I was just like, I have always made fun of those who go to take off with either not their brakes in their hands, or no throttle. And I was like, and how did that, you know what it was? And Kylo is spot on with this, with the camera thing. I was so worried about that camera angle, losing the camera, whatever you want to call it, that I think that was where I screwed up. I constantly thinking about that camera. And it was the very first time I put that camera on. And, you know, I was worried about losing that camera. I just bought it and I brought that wing up. And then when I started to run, I was like, yeah, you don't have enough leg power to get yourself in the air. It's not going to happen. But I was just dumbfounded. I actually heard somebody go, what was wrong with that? Because everything was great. The inflation and everything was perfect. But I didn't have throttle in my hand. So I just laid it back down and tried to do it again. John Wayne says, my brakes are so long that I pull a lot of brake on takeoff. Should adjust them so nice in the air when they are long.
Oh,
Mr. Waller.
Yeah, he should adjust them, but it's nice in the air when they're long.
Yeah, because then you don't have your damn arms way up here. I'm actually having my brake lines shortened, either 3 or 4 inches long. I have, when I go to flare, I'm not getting the response that I normally get, or that I've been getting. and I think it's because my lines are stretched. I did have the sheathing come off of 2 different brake lines. So I showed up with the factory brake line, flew a couple times, looked over, realized my sheathing was torn. I could see the Kevlar inside. So I came back, landed, replaced that within 2 flights. That sheathing on that brand new line had come off. And I was like, holy crap, what's going on? I have a steel eyelet that the brake line goes through. And inside that eyelet, over time, my line has chewed a hole or a trench, if you will, in that eyelet. And it was a rough burr in there, and it was shearing or tearing the sheathing off. So Eric went in and shaved down that, or sanded down that spot, and then we actually turned that eyelet so that wear mark was on the bottom. And I looked at the other side, and my right side being the weaker side, it had a line in it, but it's very faint. So I asked Shannon to go ahead and change those out to a pulley, and then she suggested a a ceramic eyelet. So either one that she can get in a reasonable amount of time is the one I'm going to end up going with. I'm hoping the pulley. I like the idea of something that's rolling with, not dragging across. So hopefully I can get the pulley and not the eyelet. But I also don't want to wait a month to get parts and pieces, because then I'll be going nuts. I will be trying to fly your 14-meter seed or wing.
It's a seed.
Is it? Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that would be interesting. I'd have a better chance of just jumping off a cliff with the full throttle and just hold it down, and that would only just keep me from falling at 120 mile an hour. Just keep me at like 60 heading toward the ground.
It's a twitchy little sucker. I think I probably need to go to the beach to kite it, just so I feel like I've accomplished something, because I've had a hell of a time keeping that thing in the air. Where I've been kiting, although I haven't had the greatest conditions, but still.
Mark Elroy, I tell you, he went to school over in Texas, I believe it was, and he did most of his training in laminar winds right off the ocean. And when he got home, it was nothing like that. So if you can learn to kite in somewhat turbulent or trashy air, and you can somewhat get it right on a good day, you're going to be great. You know, it's just like driving. You can drive on dry roads with no traffic all day long, but when it gets wet or snowy and you're in heavy traffic, now you're learning something. You know, so you can take that for what it's worth. If the air is perfect in laminar, how hard is that to really kite? Like I said, I can go to the beach and walk up and down the beach and never even look at my wing, because the wind's just constant, blowing one direction off the ocean. It's nothing. You look cool because you're just walking along talking and not even looking at the wing. And yeah, everybody thinks it's amazing. But in reality, that's not skills. That's just the wind holding your wing up.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bill H just said learning on a twitchy little wing will help you. It will make it on exactly what I said. It will make a normal wing easy. So yeah, if you can set yourself up in, like I said, trashy air or air that's not all that great, and you can maneuver back and forth and keep the wing under control. Imagine what happens when you have a good day with your wing on good air. You'll be a boss, foot drag in no time.
No pun intended, right?
No. And I did feel horrible about my joke last night, just so you know.
Which one?
The flamingo one.
That was awesome.
No, I said it and I was like, oh, I'm an asshole. And Angela was in the chat. I'm like, she's like, that was funny. I go, I'm going to hell really fast. She goes, I'll meet you there. Damn it, man. I did. I'm not lying to you. I felt really bad. I was like, it was funny in my head. And then when I said it out loud, I was like, you're an asshole.
No, I loved it. That was hilarious. It took me a second.
No, Will answers, because they stand on one leg. And I was just like, when I heard him say it, I was like, oh, it's not as funny as I thought it was.
Yeah, here I'm thinking it was a reference to me getting fried in the sun, like me being pink. And so I'm like, because we're both pink. And then I was like, because they stand on one leg. I was like, that's much better.
So speaking of you being pink, make sure you bring some damn sunblock, dude. Holy
Good idea.
hell. Is your wife going down with you the whole time, or is she
I leave Thursday, I leave Friday. She's flying down to Orlando Thursday of the next week. And I figure by that time I'll have the afternoons open so I can zip over to the airport and pick her up. And then she'll just ride home with me.
If not, let me know and I can go get her.
Okay.
Because
I got literally, I don't have like anybody's phone numbers, or a couple of you, I got your email address, I think, but what's the best way to find like contact information on other PPGers? Go to PPG Zone or something like that?
Well, my phone number is 8675309.
All right, Jenny.
Just email me tomorrow. I'll give you my phone number, and then I emailed you, I think, my phone number.
Oh.
Anyways, it's not that big of a deal. But like I said, if you don't have it freed up and it is on the weekend, or she's coming in after 4:00 on a weekday, I can run over.
No, I think she's getting there in the afternoon, like around 1. I should be able to go get her.
Okay. If you can't, let me know, and
Thank you.
I can. It's 45 minutes west of me, so.
Okay.
Brian Waller said ppgbrian.com. That's how you get a hold of him.
Sweet. Thanks, Brian.
Mike says Jenny.
Jenny?
Now, if I told my daughter that, she'd be like, I don't understand. What's that number?
Oh yeah, for sure.
I seen a thing on Facebook. It says it has a woman on her hands and knees crying because her daughter says that she likes classical music and it's from the 80s or whatever. See, the woman obviously grew up listening to the 80s music. I was like, oh, I feel you there. I feel you there.
Yep.
Oh, damn it. So, Eric, Jade, you guys got anything to add to the Bad Apples thingamabobber? Anything you liked, disliked, other than your neighbor? Why don't you guys turn your microphones off or on?
Jason. No, everything was awesome. It really was a lot of fun. I was just writing in here on the chat. The flying was great, but the hangout, with everybody else was a lot more fun. So, now we can actually, now we know who these people are, so we won't feel as bad when we pick on you.
Well, I told you and Jade, I'm exactly the same person I am online as I am in person. Is that true or false?
No, that was true.
Yeah, true.
He said that very disappointing. It was true.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, this is me, and Will, what was, before I get into this, Will, what is your favorite thing? What is your dislike thing?
Ice cream would be the favorite. And the dislike. No, seriously, what Eric said, and it's hard to fathom this because you're going to a fly-in, but every time I flew at Bad Apples, I'd get out there, tool around, have fun. But but I wanted to get back. I was feeling like I was missing the real fun, which there really was. And because I'm fly at home. So the people were my favorite. I guess I'd have to say accidents were my least favorite.
Right. Well, that's a no-brainer, man.
No, it's not, because I had never experienced that before. So, no, really, it was my least favorite thing. I mean, I could always, I hate when people fail launches and break props and stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, really, that was my least favorite thing, and it's something I never want to see again.
Did you actually witness it?
I did. I witnessed both of them.
Oh, wow.
The power line one too?
I did.
I didn't. Jason was in the air. I was on the ground when that happened.
Yeah. So, yeah, man. I mean, but I'll tell you what, good will come from that. And
Right. No. Yes. Oh yeah.
No question about it. They'll be talking about it in videos, I'm sure. But it sure made me a lot safer pilot while I was down there. And today, and I'll carry it with me the rest of my life. So, hey, I mean,
well, with that being said, my least favorite thing was to go tell his wife that he went down, because her reaction caught me completely off guard. And, not knowing, because as soon as I seen it, I just took off running to go get her. And her reaction just played over and over in my head. It still does. And dude, I don't want to tell nobody nothing no more. You know what I mean? Like it physically, mentally just broke me down. I was like, holy crap, what if? Because like I said, I seen him go down. I just turned and ran and just started asking where the hell she was at. And then, I just like, I need to find her right now. And they're like, why, what's going on? And dude, I'm telling you, I cried. I'm friends with him. I'm friends with her. I care greatly for both of them. But to have to tell her that, and her witnessing over in Salton Sea or whatever it was out west, that pilot die out there, she just thought he was done, and holy crap. I don't ever want to have to go tell nobody nothing, because I can't handle it, and I went in my camper and I took care of some business in there, and I was just not. I'm glad nobody came in there, because I don't like to cry in front of other people, but it freaking bothered the hell out of me. And oh yeah, thanks, Jade. So if anybody in the chat would like to at least share the GoFundMe link that Jade just uploaded in the chat. They don't have health insurance. He's going to be in the hospital 2 weeks or better. He's got 10 weeks of therapy and just a whole bunch of medical bills that they're going to need a ton of help with. So if anybody can donate $1, I mean, you don't think $1 much, but enough people donate money, it makes a difference. I can honestly tell you that when my son got sick, we needed, my health insurance requires we pay $3,000 copay for the year. After $3,000, we don't pay nothing for anything. My 19-year, he was 18 at the time, didn't have $3,000. We didn't have $3,000. We started GoFundMe. I asked for $3,000. Nothing more, nothing less. I just needed enough to help cover the copay. And then, of course, the new year rolled around, and well, insurance went up $3,000, so it went up to $6,000. And then, we ended up traveling to different hotels and staying at different hotels and hospitals, and 6-7 weeks at a time. So you're talking $1,200 every 10 days for hotel rooms and food and everything else. We weren't working. We still had to pay house payments and all that stuff. So we got enough money to support my son, cover his medical bills, and pay for bare necessities of our house. While we were going through that, we turned the internet off, took our cell phones down to bare minimum, and did things that we had to do to survive and help support him. So these people would need the exact same thing. Melissa, because of COVID, is not allowed to stay the night at the hospital, so she has to have a hotel room. So they have to pay for the hotel rooms, the medical bills. It's something that none of us expect or have to go through, but they are. So if you guys can help out in any way, that'd be greatly appreciated. At least share it and try to reach out to more people. The more people that see it will definitely help out and help them get through this, because he's gonna be not flying for a while. That's gotta be the hardest part, I think.
Oh man. But the silver lining is he's gonna be okay, right?
Yes.
And we'll all learn something too. That was the hard lesson. I mean, that was tough, what happened to him. That was unfortunate. And I texted Melissa today. I told her, hey man, we love you. We're thinking about you. And she's got a lot of support that she probably doesn't even know about.
Well, Kobe just put in a chat that he'll be leaving the hospital Thursday, and he just texted Nick. So,
wow.
I actually got a call from Nick after his surgery the next day, and he was, in high spirits, feeling, as good as you can get after a surgery like that. And he's trying to as a patient, trying to make sure that his wife is, not too worried and this and that. It's got to be stressful, I just hope that they can. He just said that Kobe just said he cannot be on his feet for 10 weeks, so he's going to be bedridden for 10 weeks. That's gotta. I can't even stay in my bed until 10 o'clock. I got to get out by 8 o'clock, or I'm stiff all day long. Will, what time do you get out of bed when you go to fly-ins?
When I go to fly-ins, I sleep in.
Till when?
I think I don't know. I think I had one breakfast there with you guys. That was a mistake. I got up too early. But normally when I'm home, I get up like 8 o'clock every day. 7:30, 8 o'clock, like clockwork.
Are you saying that 60 degree camper kept you hibernating a little longer every night?
What do you call that when you put dead people in like frozen? No, like
cryostasis.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thanks, Dave.
That's funny.
No, but hey, the funny thing is about that is I was really cold the first night, but then every night thereafter, I got used to it.
Oh, there you go.
Shane would spoon him.
Yeah, Will doesn't know. I was sneaking there in the middle of the night, spooning them, and then I get up in the morning to go fly.
Shane doing the army crawl on the floor, getting over to Will.
It was a great time. I mean, I was really surprised because I always thought Salton Sea was like, I wanted to go out there because I thought that was like the biggie, and it turns out this was the biggie.
And it might be the new biggie.
Yeah, I guess so.
New biggie.
I guess Shiners and Dave Purdon's going to be pretty busy too.
Oh, Dave Purdon's is going. Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
That's like 1 hour away from me. St. John's, Michigan.
Then you need to come.
I know. I'm telling you. Mr. Wolf is like, he's like, hey, September, come on out. I'll take you on a tandem. Hello. Yeah.
I will tell you, Dave Purdon so far is my hands down, no comparison, favorite flying that I've been to. The view, the river, the mountains. I call them mountains. They call them foothills, whatever.
No.
It was just absolutely unbelievable. I couldn't get enough of it. I did not want to leave. Every year I go to Ohio to hunt. Never have I been there to fly, which this year coming up, I will be going to hunt and fly. not at the same time as much as I would love to try that. But yeah, I'll hunt in the morning, and then when it warms up a little bit, I'll take off my paramotor, fly around for a little while, and then come back and land, have lunch, and take a nap, and then go back in the afternoon to hunt.
Question for you, Shane. Imagine the number. So we have, I think, 325 or so registered pilots at Badass.
Right.
Can you imagine that same amount at Dave Purdon's? I mean,
There's no room.
It's not. It won't accommodate that many.
I don't.
Good question.
I don't think so.
I'll have to look into that one.
Yeah, because there's a lot of pent up demand. There's
You're
just
talking about in Michigan, right?
No, it's in Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Portsmouth, Ohio. Whatever it is.
David was talking about the one in September or something.
That's the one in Ohio. It's on the Ohio-Kentucky River. It's like the northwest. I'm sorry, southwest section of Ohio.
Oh, okay.
But Will, I'll be coming right by your house to go to Ohio if you want to hitch a ride.
I'll meet you in Ohio. I'm actually, all my family lives in Ohio, so I'm going to go to the flying and then.
Yeah, my wife's family's from there, so I'll end up probably. I will probably be heading over there, flying over their property and checking out some new hunting spots for this hunting season. And
my family's got I'm sorry, let me just throw. My family's got a grass strip on their farm. It's been there for 100 and something years, so I'm going to go fly that first time PPG.
Nice,
cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Sorry, Eric.
And what is Ohio known for?
Go, Will.
Wasn't it spaghetti?
Buckeyes.
Chili spaghetti.
Chili spaghetti, yeah.
Oh.
There you go.
Oh, no, really? The most president of any state. I didn't know that. That's pretty impressive, actually.
Mark Elroy said he will be in Florida part of that time. I may try to come over when Shane is there. Elroy, you talking about over at Aviator when DP's there?
Yeah, one up, but same place.
Are you gonna be at Aviator or are you gonna be at Wachula?
No, I'm gonna be at Lake Wales, but training with one up.
Okay, all right.
Who's all on the chat tonight? I can say hi to. Just checking.
Everyone.
Walter's in the chat, Linda.
Is Walter, my sugar.
Walter's definitely late.
I know. I do want to be like rude, unsociable, but I had to escape for a little bit and go down and check on the parents and everything, and it's all good.
So,
my mom has like a major ant problem in the kitchen, so the ants it's that time of the year, so down there.
Linda, you know what's worse? You know what's worse than ants? In your pants, right?
Oh, what is? Yes, Shane. What is worse than ants in my pants? Tell me.
An uncle.
That was marginally funny.
Why am I laughing? I can't encourage you on these things. I laugh every time. I'm like, why am I encouraging him?
Great. There goes that therapy.
Okay, so DP Mark Elroy wants to make sure that he has the dates correct, and you put that in there. I just see that now. Never mind. I'll just be quiet. I'll be over here if you need me. I just literally saw it as I was saying it. I know Mark Elroy's dad's over on the West Coast, and I'm on the East Coast. But Mark, if you want to come over for a day or two and hang out, whatever, we can make that happen. Fly the compound, whatever. Actually, if Mark comes over this way, we'll fly out of Sebastian Airport, go over the river and down the beach.
Oh.
Just so you know.
Yeah.
That is a possibility.
Yeah. I just gotta say hi to all my chatters. Thank you, chatters. I don't want to make them feel left out, so I gotta say hi to everybody.
Linda, you look absolutely crazy with that hair flapping in the wind there with your fan blowing or
I am
whatever
crazy.
it is. I'm gonna change your name to Medusa on, on your channel.
Oh my God.
Just,
I know, something like that. Well, I got my fan going because the parents don't have the AC on yet, you know, but today was a lovely day. It was like 80. That's why I took my cowboy hat out. I had to go downstairs and check on the parents and stuff. And I took my cowboy hat off and I was like, yeah. So that's why I got the fan going, the window open, and it's not bad. It was like 80 today. And I went on my 2.5 mile walk.
on
Felt really
purpose.
good since 3 weeks ago or whatever when I fell on my face, you know. And I was like, well, it's like, you know, you fall off the horse, you got to get back on. So I'm like, okay, I need to go back on walk.
How did you fall on your face again?
Like this.
I did. I had the wrong kind of walking boots. Okay, I had my cowboy fat baby boots on, and I walked in those like for a month. I go on, you saw it, like 4 mile walks. And 2 weeks ago, I was going up that little hill, and that little hill got me. I went down. Yeah.
You know what gets my wife? Flat surfaces. That girl cannot walk on flat surface, save her life without tripping.
I feel her pain. I do. In fact, today when I was walking, I was like, okay, I just took my time, suck it, you know, and did my 2 mile walk and stopped at Walgreens right by the park after I walked, and I got me another pair of tennis shoes and came home, and it was all good. But yeah, I'm healing up good. I'm just glad that I didn't trash my knee because I already killed it like in 2016 when I fell at work. So I was so worried when I fell that I re-injured it. But thank God I didn't break anything, you know. I got like a sprained thumb. I was like, Mom. My mom's like, whatever.
Hey.
When you're 94, you know, raising 6 kids, she's like, yeah, okay, Linda. But
Hey, I want to thank those who donated to Nick tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Mike Rockwood and John Wayne. Is that? Hey, listen. It doesn't matter how much. Anything helps. It literally, truly helps. I would get emails and notifications that somebody donated 50 cents, $1. Dude, it all matters. If you can donate $1, great. It truly does help out. I can't tell you, there were pages and pages of people that were like, I wish I could do more, but this is all I could afford. And it didn't matter if it was $1,000 donation or $1. We appreciated every bit of it, just like they do. And you know, it does matter. It does help. And thank you guys for donating, truly.
So can I get on Facebook? I can donate on the Facebook.
Linda, if you go to my page, you'll see the link. If you can share it, that'd be great.
Okay.
What was that, Will?
I was saying, have you seen his picture on his GoFundMe page?
Yes.
Yeah, it's looking good.
Yeah.
You can tell that there's a sense of humor behind that mask.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? You could just tell.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're gonna end.
Tomorrow.
We're gonna end this. I want to make sure Will gets enough sleep, and we're gonna have to start working on getting Will up in the morning to fly. Butter air, just amazing scenery, and Will's over there drooling on his pillow. It just doesn't make sense.
A new Moster 185 would do the trick, Shane.
Do you need to start yourself a GoFundMe?
I know exactly, man. My sister-in-law, she'll like text me, hey, I already went out walking and running, and I was out there at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock this morning. I'm like, good for you.
Yeah, right.
All right, guys.
Like 2 in the afternoon, because that's just me. So.
All right, we're gonna get out of here. Okay. Thank you guys again for hanging out and doing nonsense with us. Everyone on the panel, thank you very much. With that being
you.
said, we're out of here because
All
I'm
right,
tired.
y'all be safe.
All right, guys. Night.
Night.
See you guys.
Love y'all.
Bye.
See you Thursday.
Sean, you must have to end it. Sean,
Where is Sean?
it's just you and me, Linda. I'll
Oh.
try to. I'll just try to end it here. All right.
Okay.
Good night, Linda.